Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the 6th installment of OST Saturdays here on the channel. Interesting lineup today. We've got a little bit of returning artists from the last couple weeks, as well as from last year, and then one new inclusion. So let's just jump straight into it. I'm loving the series we're doing here. We're gonna check out OSTs that drop within the week. I know there was a whole bunch of other OSTs that have dropped, but kind of been like keeping my eye out in like the I-dle world and stuff. Yes, I know I'm probably going to end up missing a few here and there. That just kind of nature of it, you know. Time is a kind of a important thing I need to keep in mind. So jump on over real quick. If you see me looking at this monitor a lot today, it's because I have Reddit open on the second monitor underneath the webcam. That has like the list of essentially the schedule for OSTs, and I kind of need them to reference what the dramas are for. So, first one is kind of obvious. The drama Crash Course in Romance, performed by Giriboy, who I don't know of his music that much. I do know him on a lot of features, like tracks he's done with the likes of like Hage, with Sori, with Big Naughty, the occasional J Park, and Simon Dominic songs. Well, this isn't a genre I like really keep up to date with. The potential of it being an OST and it being possibly something a little bit different has me intrigued, so we're gonna check this one out. And yeah, let's jump right into it. No cans today, unfortunately. I didn't realize they were low on battery last night, and I didn't charge them. So instead, we're going with the good old Galaxy Buds today. So just jump straight into it. At Night, performed by Giriboy. 비가 좀 많이 와서 또 비추기는 건 아닌지 쿵쾅대는 전등 소리에 또 깨는 건 아닌지 Turn it off a little bit as well. 간밤에 요즘 너가 자주 꾼단 악몽을 꾸는 건 아닌지 요란한 꿈자리에 누워 또 깨는 건 Anybody else really feeling this like smooth swingy type feel? 하루의 끝자락 Oh, bring in percussion a little bit more. And the guitars in the background too, so smooth. 못다 했던 그 말들은 조금 아껴두기로 해 꿈에서 나 Very interesting that that phrase was almost like cut short by this guitar solo, because that phrase could have kept going, but there was no resolution to it. Instead, the guitar solo jumped in to take over. Very cool. I have such a clear mental image of that whole guitar solo where it's like, say this was a band performing on stage, you have the lights dimmed down, just have the stage lights on, and you just see one person with the guitar just standing in the middle of the stage with his eyes closed, just vibing along and just dancing on the fretboard. Oof. A friend of mine from undergrad is in a band, is in a garage band that does stuff like this. I should send this to him. Oh, it got real gentle there at the end. I like that. There's something really satisfying about is simple, slow, like it's like the best way I can describe it right now is like it sits between in like the middle point of like lounge, smooth jazz, and like funk. If that makes sense. Like it sits right in the middle of those three. It's got like the pacing of like lounge music. It's got the little chords from like kind of like jazzy, slow jazzy type. And it's got the instrumental sounds from like funk era. And I love that combination. It's so easy to listen to because you just kind of let the music take you on a journey. And you don't really need to think too much about it because it just kind of ah you're on a journey and you're kind of just like it's like you're on a boat down the Venetian canals where you're just kind of like rocking back and forth gently with the waves, hearing the gentle splashes of the water up against the hull of the boat. It's got that kind of feel to it, and I love this type of music. It's it's kind of appropriate for the mood I'm in today. Like it's afternoon on a Saturday. I got some stuff done around the flat, picked up a package, and it's just been like it's been a really chill day. And I love that this is like kind of like epitomizing what the vibe of today has been like because it's been so chill and I love it. Good stuff. Now, next. Oh, this is one that I've kind of been excited for. Love to Hate You is a drama that dropped very recently, and they dropped the OST list, or at least for I think the first four parts of the OST, and the names on this list are nuts. So like this week, in part one, um, for the song "Sweet Dream" has Oogie and Miyeon from I-dle in it. Next week, or in the next part, which interestingly enough we're checking out after this one, has Taeil from NCT. Next week we have Big Naughty and Soyun and Lily of MX. This has only been four parts of this OST, and all four, like the lineup for this drama is stacked in terms of the OST, and I'm tremendously excited for this because, like, for those of you who know Miyeon and Oogi's like individual voices, they are very different. I'm very excited to see how these two pair up together. No captions, that's okay. Sweet Dream by Miyeon and Oogi of I-dle. 3, 2, 1. Action! Oh,
안녕하십니까.
nice slow build.
잘 부탁드립니다.
I know your voice 날 부르는
화이팅!
목소리에 돌아보면 눈앞에 펼쳐지는 전국 My sweet dream 매일이 기적이 돼
There's the contrast. There's Miyeon's little bit brighter voice.
죄송합니다.
이제 나 안 좋아하세요?
There's a charming retroness to this song that I really enjoy listening to. It's also, once again, a very chill song, isn't it? And I love the little chords on each downbeat of every measure. Just letting Oogie take this little pre-chorus with pride instead of me on this time. with her like richer lower tone.
꿈속에서도 꿈꿔줄 만한 사랑 그 미소에 취해 Please kiss me more 이런 기분 다 너 때문이잖아 영원히 stay with me
Interestingly, this may be the headphones. This also may be the mixing for this like MV. There isn't too much lower end, and it makes the song sound a lot more gentle than it actually is, I think.
꿈이라고 해도 꿈이라고 해도 너만 원해 내 꼬여버린 맘 네가 풀어줘 내 어지러운 맘 네가 잡아줘 아직 깨우진 말아줘 이대로 stay with me 꿈속에서도
Getting a little bit more head voice out of Yuqi there in the bridge.
날 향한 그 눈빛 Please kiss me more 이런 기분 다 너 때문이잖아 영원히 stay with me 나를 안아줘
아, 왔어요. 일어나요. 들어가 쉬어요.
네.
굿나잇.
Tonight?
I have no idea what this drama is about, but it looks kind of funny. Might watch this. With the OST list, I was already intrigued, but kind of like the little clippets of the drama we saw were also very intriguing for me. But oh, hey, I quite like that. You know, I wouldn't necessarily call it city pop, but it kind of gives off city pop vibes. You know, it's got the really like catchy, like old typey synth, timey like reminds me a lot of like the really gentle like pop rock stuff from like the 80s. It's not like the city pop movement and like that sound, but when I listen to it, I get the same kind of like coziness that I would from listening to traditional like city pop music, and I think that's really cool. I am slightly interested with the mixing of it and why it's so treble heavy. That I'll probably figure out if I can find the studio version of it somewhere, and well, I finished charging the cans again. But that was really cool. I love their two voices. Like I-dle's, like every member from I-dle, even including Sujin, has really unique vocals that really pair well with each other. And essentially, Miyeon and Yuqi, in terms of like vocal color, is probably like as far in the opposite end of the spectrum as you're going to get. Maybe with the exception of Soyeon, because she has a very unique tone. But give the G-idle members like singing lines. Yuqi and Miyeon are going to be like the most noticeable in terms of difference, because one is so much lower than the other. One has so much richness in the lower tones, but one has this like almost gentle fairy like high tone in her like chest and lower head voice that Miyeon has. And just they pair so well together, and there was this like kind of like ease listening to this. Like it didn't feel like anything was forced. It just felt like just a regular old just like singing session between two roommates, and it carried over into the OST project that I really liked. But we're sticking with the same drama with the part 2 of the OST featuring Mr. Moon Taeil from NCT, my favorite Moon Taeil. The boy absolutely floats on vocals.
팔꿈치, 손톱, 돌멩이 뭐 쓸 수 있는 건 다 쓰고요. 욕도 더 많이 하고.
알았으니까 말만 하지 말고 좀 해보세요.
아야!
아, 진짜.
When he sang on 2521 last year, I fell in love with the song. I think it was what, Starlight on 2521? Taeil's got this really gentle voice that's really easy to listen to, whatever genre he's singing. I'd like him to use his lower range so far. I like that.
사람 잡겠네. 참 재밌는 분이시네. 나보다 힘센 놈이 이렇게 손을 턱 잡으면 어떡하지?
아, 이제 이상한 여자네 이거 진짜.
죄송합니다.
I still don't understand what's going on in the show. And I think that like confusion is intriguing me. But back to Taeil though.
너 비호감이거든.
분 단위로 바뀌는 이 기분은 뭐야 미치겠어 또 다른 나의 모습 너로 인해 찾았어 내 그대로의 모습 이제서야 알았어 까만 밤 하늘에 반짝이는 때마침 불어오는 별과 바람 우린 Lovey Dovey 멈췄던 내 가슴에 숨을 더 불어넣은 그게 바로 너의 Lovey Dovey yeah baby love make you feel my love 왜 이제서야 알아봐
I think what's interesting about this song is the pacing of it is very different from the actual like speed of the song. With like kind of the key and the melody that it takes, and kind of like Taeil's way of enunciating and just how fast he sings it, the song feels a lot faster than it actually is, and it feels a lot more energetic than I think it actually is, and I quite like that.
눈앞에 펼쳐진 문을 열어 널 향해 발디뎌 오늘부터 우린 Lovey Dovey 멈췄던 내 가슴에 숨을 더 불어넣은 그게 바로 너의 Lovey Dovey yeah baby love make you feel my love 왜 이제서야 알아봤나요 baby love make you feel my love 영원히 놓지 않아요
Hi, Taeil. Again, it's a very wholesome sounding casual song. And it's... I don't know if parts 3 and 4 are going to be something similar, considering the artists on it are kind of very, again, a very different set of artists. Like, it's... Sometimes OSTs, depending on, like, the context of the show, will, you know, like, obviously, if you're going to have, like, a historical romance drama of sorts, it's going to be maybe either, like, pull historical references, or would that be, like, traditional instruments, or just, like, the pacing of it is going to be more romance-oriented, so typically that just means slower, more ballad-like. And with a comedy, you know, you have more light-hearted stuff. This one kind of rides the line between the two of them. And I think it might be because I don't understand the context of the show. But there's a playfulness to it. There's also like a little matureness to it. And there's a little like underlying hint of like emotional instability underneath it. It's like you don't know what exactly this is referring to. It's just kind of like a mood setter. It's a very neutral mood setter, and I think that's very interesting because it kind of allows for whatever is happening on the screen to take over. It's like it's like a good mashed potato. mashed potato by itself is perfectly fine if you like potatoes, but you know, you can throw in some little like some butter, like some garlic butter, maybe some like herbs through it. You put some gravy on it. You pair it with a steak or some fish or maybe a roast dinner. It's really flexible and it becomes like a vehicle to carry other means of flavor along with it. These two OSTs particular that we just listened to is a very good carrier for emotions and visuals that happen to be on screen. That's very cool. Also very clever. And I'm very excited for what parts 3 and 4 are going to have with Naughty and the Ep.6 duo. But, last song. So, this one is kind of interesting because we're making a return. Let me actually scroll back. When did... Let's see. I may have to pull up the January one real quick. But essentially, what happened was I saw on the release schedule that we were getting another member of I-dle dropping an OST. But if I remember correctly, we've gotten this song already, and it's a remix of it. So, yeah. So the original version of In the Novel, performed by Minnie from I-dle, dropped as part of the second part of the OST for the webtoon. It was all a mistake. That was January 26th. And now on the 9th of February, it dropped again, this time as a remix. And the remix seemed to get good responses in like the comments section and stuff like that. And I was kind of curious. So let's jump into it, see what we got. No captions, that's probably fine. Yup.
Baby, tell me the truth. Do you really mean it? Say it again. I think you're lying. Oh my gosh, you confuse me like hell. Don't fake your mind. You don't have to lie. You know I want you. I only want you. Can you see me cry? I can save myself.
It's writing the it's writing synth pop really well, the beat of it. Oh! Yeah, this has been a lot more heavily engineered, which, I mean, makes sense, it's a remix, obviously, but... Interesting that the really heavy, like, kick drum synth beat is, like, cutting into Minnie's voice. So in the next time around the chorus, pay attention to how Minnie's voice kind of, like, gets filtered out whenever the downbeat on every kick drum is. It's already kind of happening right now, but listen to it. Notice how every single beat her voice is cutting out there in the chorus? Interesting remix style. Delayed entry. Quick exit. I thought we were gonna get maybe like one more repeat of that chorus to just finish out the song, but it was just one chorus and then done. Interesting. I don't know which version I prefer. I feel like this one wasn't too different compared to the original. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Minnie's voice works well with this type of music too. It's really gentle. There's a little bit of like rasp. There's a little bit of soul. There's a little bit of like a flutter in it. But it works. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And that's it for this week's OST Saturdays. I felt like this one went by pretty quick. But it was pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Giriboy's At Night might be, like, in terms of the song, might be number one for me this week. Because I just dig the vibe of it. But in terms of the show, the OST that Miyeon Yuqi and Taeil were on, like, that show has me so curious because what was going on visually, like, based off the clips of the show, I have no idea what was going on, and I think that has me intrigued. But good stuff for this week, and very much excited to see what next week has as we continue that show and see what else drops. So thank you all for watching. If this survived the YouTube Content ID scan, hooray, we did it. If not, we tried. But if you did enjoy and want to see more, channel icon is up there. You can find the back catalog of stuff watched in the past. Drop a subscription if you want to keep up to date with whenever I upload new videos. And if you want to watch another video of mine right away, YouTube recommends you watch that video down there. And until next time, bye-bye.